Pre-match mix, episode 18. Can you believe we made it to episode 18, lads?
I know, mate. This year is going up very quick, mate. Indeed.
At least we're a bit consistent with it now, aren't we? Because when we first started doing it, we were once a fortnight, once a month, weren't we? So at least we're doing it weekly now as well, which is good.
I enjoy it, mate. It's, I don't know about obviously where Kurt lives, but in the northwest of England, the last couple of days has been blue skies and sunshine, as you say in Manchester. But what's that song by Adele? He talks about the clouds being opaque and stuff like that. It's Hometown Glory. There you go. Yeah, it just lifts the mood when it's blue skies and a bit of sun, mate. So
yeah, I went to Manchester today. Funny enough, Ian, I was in the office today, so I got the train into Manchester. But it's a brilliant day, as you said there. I got the train and lovely blue skies on the train. Got the office as well. You know, it's got a nice view across the city, clear blue skies. We're not used to it, are we?
no, it's magic, mate. It makes the day just a lot better, mate. But no, I was just saying before we press record, some more good news from our resident band, the Cheap Thrills. They're just been announced to supporting the Fratellis. They're celebrating 20 years of their debut album. And also they got Subways, which is another great band. The Twang, another great band, and obviously Fratellis are headlining up over in Wakey, but that's where my other office is in Wakey. I was there yesterday. So I'm just extremely happy for them because they've worked so hard to get to this. So I'm sure we'll get them on at some point. They're also playing Why Not Festival as well, which is a great festival. I went there a few years ago with my daughter, watching a band that I was managing at the time. Just a great festival. Our stage was sponsored by Red Stripe, so I had about 3 cans in each pocket and swigging one as I was walking around. So that was good. But yeah, great news for him. Really happy for him, mate.
Yeah. They're really growing now as well, aren't they, the Cheap Thrills? Because I think when you first mentioned them when we started the pod on the Instagram, I think they had 5 or 10,000 followers. I think they've probably got about 25,000 now. So it shows how much they've grown here. When you watch some of the gigs, I think some of the stuff what they put on Instagram is brilliant as well. You know, when they put some of the shows on there as well, always sold out. Songs are going great. Places bouncing in it.
I know I say that about most bands, but I only recommend bands that I actually like and are good people. And they're really, all 4 of them, great lads. So
yeah,
I'm really happy for them. Like,
try and get them on. And Kate, you put on the group chat there that the Reds are coming to play an hour or 2 away from you, aren't they?
Yeah, that's exciting. They don't come here often, and it's like because the country's so big that sometimes they'll come over and won't be anywhere near me, so I won't be able to watch it. I've watched them twice here. I've seen them twice. They played Roma once and Sevilla once. That was back when we had like Joe Cole was a part of the squad still and players like that. So it's been a bit since I've got to watch them live, but
Where did they
pretty
play,
exciting.
Kate?
They're playing at Yankee Stadium this year. Normally they play at the Red Sox Stadium where the owners they own the Red Sox as well. So normally they play up there, but they're playing at Yankee Stadium and they're playing Wrexham in that one. So I get to see that. I know I won't see a ton of them because of the World Cup and stuff, but it's always nice to see them just in general, really.
Now you've got a friend of the show in John Acterberg. Maybe he can pull a few strings and get you a VIP ticket.
Yeah, he'll have to get me onto the pitch because they won't have as many players there. So I'll do a quick shift, half hour.
Yeah. Where would you play, Kate? What would be your position?
It'd have to be up front.
Yeah.
It would have to be up front.
Would you be a poacher, a goal scorer?
Yeah, that'd probably be it. It'd have to be. I don't have the technical ability to play anywhere else, so it'd have to be up there.
Where did you play? What was your position when you played?
Believe it or not, mate, I was actually a winger. I was quite quick back in the day.
There's a theory on you're going to say that then. I don't know why.
I think my best tally for this season was like 8. And no one will ever believe this, but I scored from the halfway line once. Just literally just come to me on the half volley, just booted it. The keeper was off his line. I couldn't even get anywhere near it now. I enjoyed playing. I played up until about 5 years ago, and then my knees just buggered.
Yeah, you know what my best tally? You know what my best tally was in the season? 1. Joe Gomez.
Yeah, well, That could
Or
bring us
Joe
on
doesn't have
to
any.
just last night's debacle, mate. But
Yeah. Should we talk a little footy then? We'll talk a little bit Liverpool before we do our bet and do our music. Yeah, you said you went the cricket club, didn't you, to watch it? What did you make of it?
I did, mate. And to be fair, the local cricket club was decent. Like they got Star Prime on draft. They had 3 pints of that and watched the game on the big screen. I quite like a midweek pint just to break the week up. I don't know. I think Gerrard, I obviously just left after the game, but it was just boring again to watch. Like 65 minutes, 60 minutes. I thought Mo wasn't very good, if I'm being honest. I know Gakpo's getting a lot of grief at the moment, but just because everyone can see Rio gets the ball and he's running at people. Obviously, I'm in my 40s. I like old school wingers that run at people. You know, the likes of, I don't know, Tony Daly, Chris Waddle, Ryan Giggs, them sort of where old school wingers like, you know, Steve McManaman, obviously grew up with him. My first trip to Wembley, he scored 2 in the Mickey Mouse Cup final against Bolton. So yeah, just old school wingers. I like that sort of approach.
Yeah. I know we've spoke about it all season, really, haven't we? It's just weird the way we wait. We almost waste the first half every game. There's been 1 or 2 matches, but the first half was so conservative and so controlled of his own gamble. It was a weird game last night because there was a point in it where it must have been about 70 minutes where we'd had 14 shots. They hadn't had 1 shot, not 1 shot on target, just not 1 shot on the match. On the first attack, goal, isn't it? Just that soft centre, that soft underbelly. I suppose what frustrates me watching Liverpool as well, it's almost like every game when there's a risk of us drawing or risk of us losing, Slot goes from, he's probably a 1 out of 10, isn't he, on the wrist faster. He likes that control, doesn't he? But then it almost goes not to a 5 or an 8, he goes to like a 20 then, doesn't he? Like the 75th, 80th minute. You know, he starts just going gung-ho. There's a stat I just read just before we joined this, and he's brought Karate off 11 times, probably for a forward. We've won 1 out of those 11 when he goes gung-ho. So maybe the answer is he goes to a 7, 8, 9 or a 10 rather than a 20. I don't know. It just feels completely out of control in the end, doesn't it?
I thought when we'd equalised, I thought we'll just go on and win this now. No offence to Wolves. And I do like their manager, actually. He applied to be Witten Albion's manager about 15 years ago.
Did he?
When he first came out of playing, but no one knew who he was then. But anyway, I quite like him, to be fair. He's a good young manager. But yeah, no, fair play to Wolves. They probably deserved it in the end.
Yeah, in the end they did, didn't he? I have to say, though, for the first 70 minutes, they're probably the worst home team I've ever seen because they had no intent. They barely got an hour and a half. Never mind have a shot. But then that was the game plan, wasn't it? By all accounts, they tended to wait, and then they knew we'd probably gamble on a few things, and they caught us on the break, didn't they?
I know.
Yeah, Kurt, what did you make of it, mate? Sorry,
No, Michael, mate.
Yeah, I don't know. Weird game in general. We really miss Verts, I think. Like in games like that in particular, where we don't have like anybody who could like break down teams on their own. Like I like Rio. He's still very, very young. And I know people want him to play all the time, but like even if you watch their second goal back, like he was like a yard away from the player and kind of just stopped running after him. Like stuff like that is still an issue. I would like to see Rio play more because he does create some stuff. He did hit the post, and dribbling is so important against a low block because if you can beat a guy or two, then then the whole shape has to move and come over and cover it a little bit, and you can open stuff like that. And we don't have a lot of that. And again, I think we're missing that with Verts and stuff. But you're right, because it's been that way for a couple of years, I feel like, where we don't create or we don't give up a ton of chances, but every chance we give up seems to go in. It's like nothing for 70 minutes, as you said, and then he was through on goal 1-on-1 for the first time all game, and it just falls apart a little bit after that. I don't mind ramping it up though. Like when you were talking about going to 20, I think if you're chasing like a top 4 or a title or something like that, I don't think the difference between losing by 2 or grabbing a point back is necessarily an issue. So I don't mind that he goes all the way throttle at the end of those games and stuff like that. Because when we were 1-0 down and those changes came, if we lost 2-0, I don't. There's no real difference between that and not having to go. I don't think.
Yeah, I enjoy it as well. It's a bit exciting when it ramps up. It goes end to end, doesn't it? It's how football should be. And I suppose with these a big talking points, the set pieces at the moment, isn't it? You know, a lot of people are probably complaining about a lot of goals are coming from. I quite like the set pieces, but what I will say is it's probably getting to the point where it's getting a bit daft, isn't it? You know, even as defender, you're seeing Declan Rice on where he literally had his arms over his shoulders and he couldn't jump. Never mind the handball. He literally had his arms wrapped around it, didn't he? So he couldn't jump, he couldn't move, and you know, outside the box, that's a foul all day long, isn't it? So why isn't it inside the box? It's mad, isn't it?
He had 2 fouls on that. It felt like could have given him handball if you really wanted.
Yeah,
but I think.
Sorry, mate.
Sorry, I think a real major part of what keeps games from being a little bit more free flowing, as well, is that stuff like that isn't called by defenders, just like in general. Like the other day when Tottenham had that goal disallowed off of Gabriel falling to the ground, stuff like that. Those aren't fouls, and like defenders get away with a lot, goalkeepers get away with a ton. Like you can go anywhere near a goalkeeper, not touch them, and they fall over funky, and it's whistle. And you're have a free kick there, and a defender goes over, whistle, and it it gives the onus for defenders to kind of play games like that, and makes it much more difficult to score. And I think a lot with the set pieces, I don't mind the set pieces as much, but teams like Arsenal plays the game for set pieces, which is I think what they want to move away from, or I think what we want to move away from. Like Arsenal don't play the game to play the game and score goals. Arsenal play the game to not concede goals, and they play for corners. They're over in the corner like playing for set pieces and stuff. I think it'd like to be a bit more open. But defenders getting away with stuff slows the game down, prevents goals, stuff like that.
Yeah, you know what's doing me head, and I'll pass back over to you now as well. Some games I'm watching as well where players are running. Naturally, your arms move, don't they, when you run? Sometimes, if they're running for the ball, they touch someone, they seem to just fall over all the time now, and they get free kicks for it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's starting to get a bit tough. What were you going to say? Sorry,
No, it was a couple of dodgy decisions when I thought it was a handball second half when the guy sort of moved his elbow. And then also when Ekitike is running through and he really sort of like pulled him down, and then it was a bit of a melee, as they say. Just a couple of shit decisions, but I won't go too much detail about refs because I'll probably say too much about my game from Sunday. But yeah, it's
you know, on the Sunday, have you got a long throwers party or a Sunday league now? And do you do the same? Do you get players in around the keeper, or can't your players throw it that far?
We have got one player, and unfortunately, I didn't get him on the pitch on Sunday, and I fucking hate that because they are paying a £5 to play, and if they don't come on, they get the £5 back. But the game was so close on Sunday. In hindsight, I probably should have brought him on, but I won't mention his name. But he's a great lad. So
yeah, is he your what's his name for Brentford? Is it Coyote? Is it who has the long throw for Brentford?
Yeah, he's got a long throw. Yeah, and we're playing top of the league on Sunday, so
just put him in there. Put him in there for your set piece. Who was it years ago for Tranmere? Chandler, was it?
Dave Chandler. He's one of the most successful lower league managers. I think he took Stockport from Conference North to League One. I think they're in now.
Yeah.
I'm sure they're in League One. Yeah, I'm sure they are.
Chandler.
Dave Chandler. Yeah. So he's but yeah, he was. Everyone just thinks he's the long throw guy, but he's actually a successful manager as well. So
yeah, they were good that them years when they Tranmere. I think they got to the semi-finals, didn't they, as well? Maybe even
they got the final. Got beat by Leicester in the final, didn't he? John Aldridge scored. I remember it because I used to go to school with him. A lad who went Tranmere. We used to go quite a bit back in the day.
Yeah, that's right. I think when John Achterberg was on, he mentioned that cup run as well. Oh, brilliant. Kate, let's talk a little bit about betting. The other thing what probably peeved me off a little bit last weekend was we lost the bet, but did you see the goals on that under 2.5 goals, Kate? Have you seen the goalkeeper
I
for it?
know.
It's
Yeah,
terrible. It's
I
terrible.
know.
If it finished 2-1, we needed it to be under 2.5, but the two of them goals, they should have been saved, shouldn't they?
Yeah, that happens a lot. It feels like, or you'll have a game where you do some overs and players are missing sitters in front of the goal, and that happens. It just happens in this sport a ton. Um, but yeah, I've got three this week. In the what is it? The FA Cup this weekend. The first one is Newcastle and City to draw. It's like 3-1. New Manchester City tend to win these games, but they're much closer in the title race than I think they thought they would have been in at this stage. And it's on the road, and Newcastle at least put in effort. And Newcastle have been pretty quietly terrible in the league for a month and a half. They're down to 13th. They're like 4 back of Sunderland. They're 12 back of Europe. Like their season in the Premier League is done. They've got cups left. They'll be at home. And City, while City tend to kind of win these games against Newcastle in particular, I think Newcastle will be up for it. We'll see if Holland plays. I don't think Holland's playing today.
He started.
Again.
He started
Yeah,
today.
started,
Did he? Did he go
Yeah, he
again? Well, then
started.
maybe
Yeah.
he'll get a rest. But regardless, I don't expect him to play the full 90 on the weekend, and I kind of like that one to be like a 1-1 KG kind of game.
Yeah.
So hopefully we get that one there. I'm surprised he started, but I didn't bet any City today, so it's okay. Next one is Mansfield team total under. So Mansfield not to score versus Arsenal at the weekend. It's in Mansfield, but even when Arsenal give up goals, they don't do a whole lot from open play, and they don't give up a ton from set pieces, but they've given up quite a few from set pieces recently. And no disrespect for Mansfield, I don't think they have the bodies to kind of cause Arsenal problems in that particular area. So Arsenal to not concede in that one. And then Ipswich are home to Leicester. It's Ipswich -1. Leicester feel like they're like on the verge, not even on the verge, like just on the edge of completely falling apart, which is super weird because they're talented and still have, and they're like 1 or 2 points off like safety. It's not like they're full gone conclusion down or anything, but they've been really bad. And just coming off another home loss to Norwich, Ipswich have been playing really well. This one feels like if Ipswich score early, it can be 3 or 4. So I like Ipswich.
Yeah, they're playing really well, Ipswich, aren't they? That's a championship game, that one. They won again last night, Ipswich won 1-0 home to Hull. Hull have picked up a little bit of form. But I think Ipswich, like last 3 games, they've won. They've beat Swansea 3-0, and won away to Watford 2-0, and obviously beat Hull 1-0, whereas, Leicester lost against Norwich, drawn with Borough are on a bad team, and drawn with Stoke. So, I like those, Kurt. I always find
and
it
then they
hard.
lost the 5 previous ones.
Yeah, it's hard picking the FA Cup matches, isn't it, I think?
Yeah, you don't get a lot of like team news early, which is kind of a problem. And you can't especially with the big teams, you can't assume they're going to put talent out.
Yeah.
Like you can't assume Arsenal are just going to put guys out. Like they have more important things to think. Like I know they want to win the game, obviously, but they feel they can put, Eze, who hasn't been playing a ton, you can put out. You can put Trossard out. You don't put Saka out and stuff like that. So it's tough to kind of see how teams are gonna take the cup seriously, but that's what it's called gambling for, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, 3 good picks, we'll do that. And I think recent record for us, Kurt, I think certainly in the Premier League, I think we've hit something like 10 out of 13, have we? I think on the last couple of weeks. So, and again, the ones we've lost have been by the odd goal would be just marginal and other teams as well. So yeah, big well done. I'll certainly put a few quid on them at the weekend. Will you have a bet at the weekend?
Yeah, I'll always have a look, mate. I think it's the Scottish FA Cup this weekend as well. One of my favourite Scottish teams, Partick Thistle, they're playing away at St Mirren Sunday night. I did look at going, but tickets are sold out in the Partick Thistle end. So I'll scratch that one. But yeah, no, I'll have a look, mate. Definitely, I'll put something on the chat. And but like you say, you mentioned Hull. Obviously got Kumas on loan from Liverpool at the moment, who's chipped in with a few goals. Let's talk about that. Morrison maybe getting a run out on Friday, isn't there? For Liverpool, I know the club think very highly of him, so he's like another version of Rio. Probably, I don't know how they compare to each other, but they seem to be flying in the under 21s, don't they? So we'll see.
I'd love to see some of these young lads come through. It feels like it's quite hard for young players to come through into the Premiership at the moment. I think because it's the bigger and bigger the league's got. I don't know, I could be completely wrong on this, but you seem to see not many young players now breaking through, do you?
No, there was that Lacey guy for United. I've not seen him.
Yeah.
But yeah.
You've also got Rangers Celtic in the Scottish Cup this weekend as well. I think the last game was 2-2 as well, wasn't it? So
yeah, caught some of that in the pub after my game on Sunday. Yeah, obviously I'm leaning more towards Rangers, just because of when I was a kid growing up in Gascoigne and McCoist and Mark Haley and players like that. So
Laudrup as well, yeah, didn't he?
Yeah, he had some great players. Yeah, I was up there end of the last year. So
yeah, brilliant. Well, listen, let's hit us with some music news. What have you got for us, buddy?
Yeah, so a band that's been around for a while. They are called Rolla, which is ROLLA. Just a really good band. They've announced a tour in April, and so playing at some great venues. To be fair, they're playing in London, Birmingham, Stockton, Glasgow, and Manchester. But I always like to see you supporting, and a couple of bands that we've spoken about. Unit 17, they're supporting in Manchester, and another band who has played a soft lad gig called Panhead Sharps. I think the Panhead Sharps are from Dunfermline. Don't quote me on that. But again, they played in Liverpool for us. Really good band. Picked out a couple of tunes. The one by Rolla is called Breaking Out, which has only came out last month. And my favourite Panhead Sharps tune is called When You Are Falling. It's on one of my playlists. Listen to them quite a bit, but they were just great lads. I think Scottish bands are just great in general because they're always sound people and always happy to come down and play. But yeah, there's a couple of bands there for you. Definitely worth having a listen.
And you like some of the Scottish bands, don't you, as well?
Yeah, I do, mate. I do. Obviously, The View, Glas Vegas. Glas Vegas is probably one of my top gigs. They've got a few tunes. Geraldine. What else is the other one? Flowers and Football Tops. Just great bands, mate. And I went to a festival in the Isle of Bute a couple of years ago. Obviously in Scotland, that was brilliant. On the way back, I went to watch Dundee versus Inverness Caledonian Thistle as well. So perfect weekend with my boy. But yeah, no, it's I just love football and Scotland and music. So yeah, it's all rolls into one, mate.
We like some of the bands that have a little bit of football mixed in as well, don't we? I think you said there in some of the songs or some of the videos. I think.
Yeah, obviously you got like
on there.
The Enemy as well. They're a massive link with Coventry City. We live and die in these towns, which is one of their sort of anthems.
Have you seen that video where they're playing in the corner? They're playing in the corner. Brilliant, isn't it?
Brilliant. I love that song where Away From Here, Stay at Home with Richard and Judy, which is just one of the greatest lines ever. But yeah, great band, just working class people. I think the lead singer was working in a biscuit factory before he made it big. But yeah, just good people that doing well, which is great to see, mate. So, but yeah, no, it's there's always plenty of new music. I sent you that other tune last week, didn't I? Andy Goodwin, Fred Perry Girl.
Yeah.
She wears a Fred Perry and three stripes, which is my sort of attire. Like, so I've always got a pair of three stripes on. My battery's about to go on this laptop, so
yeah, there's some great music news there. Thanks, Ian. We'll put those bands on Instagram. We'll always give them a shout out. Should we do some fancy footy news? We haven't done any fancy footy for a while. Should we load it up and see what we've got?
Yeah,
the pre-match mix. £100 challenge. The winner gets £100. Suspicious Minds, as in Saw, the player, is top at the moment, 1,681. Closely followed by And Die Hard, 1,654. And you've got Josh Dyson in third place. You've got Jack Cook in fourth place. Murphy's Law, me, in fifth place, hanging in there, but I'm a good 81 points behind. And let's see who's bottom. Out on Bailey, Kyle Jackson is bottom at the moment, so he's on for the. He's
Kyle
on for the.
Yeah. Kyle Jackson. Yeah, it's one of my players, Mr. Jackson, Jacko. Crumbs, who we talked about last week. Crumbs calls him Turk. He apparently looks Turkish. But
did you find out why Crumbs is called Crumbs?
I don't know. Whenever we go to the pub after the game, he always has 2 bowls of chips. Don't ask me why, but yeah, I love Crumbs. He's a great lad. But yeah, Jacko, just talk about Kyle for a second. He probably watched this podcast, but I just love. He reminds me of like Gaza, that sort of player. Hopefully, you'll see that as a compliment. Gaza, for me, is one of the best players I've ever seen play. But yeah, he's just unpredictable, but he brings a bit of magic as well. So
yeah. Well, Crumbs, if Crumbs watches this, Ian, if you get him to watch it, Crumbs, we want to know why your nickname's Crumbs. But yeah, Kyle Jackson, he's on 1159. The next nearest to him is Joey Dagnall. He's on 1244. So he's not. Yeah. Is he play for you as well?
No. Joey is a football parent for my old team. Yeah, his lads sort of followed my son around various different teams in Runcorn. But Joey is one of the nicest guys in the world. He's just a top lad, but he'll admit himself he hasn't got a Scooby about football. But just
well, listen, I don't know whether you've looked at where you are. You're 11th with FC Soft Lads, and you're just very, very slightly ahead of Frimpong's Ding Dong, which is Feeney's team. So you're playing for pride there, eh?
Yeah, my lad's in 23rd place, so he's not got the wooden spoon just yet. But
no, he was bottom for a bit when he came out of it. He came out of it, isn't he?
Well, yeah, listen, no, it's all good. But yeah, we've got as I say this every week, don't I? Another massive game coming up Sunday. I love you and Feeney to come and watch. Like, we were trying to encourage everyone to bring all the mates on Sunday, trying a bit of intimidation on the side.
It's Sunday. You're playing top of the league on Sunday.
Yeah, so we drew Sunday just gone.
You need to win now, don't you?
Well, we're 8 points off top with 2 games in hand.
Yes, you need to win. Yeah,
we need to win. Simple as that, really.
Where's your match? Where's your match on Sunday? Where is it?
It's just at Heath Park in Runcorn.
Times kick-off
11 o'clock. We'll be the only team playing. We're the only Sunday team on them pitches, so we get the pick of the pitches. Not like they're very good. Like,
I
won't name and shame my local council, but they do fuck all for the pitches. But yeah, no, it's a massive game, mate. Hopefully, we'll have a full strength squad apart from one player. So
this is the title decided by the sounds of it, then, isn't it?
Well, yeah, it's a must-win game. Simple as that. The 2-2 draw, we went 2-1 up with like 5 minutes to go, and they got us on the counter to make it 2-2. But it just, I don't know, don't want to sound too negative, but it felt like a bloody defeat in the end.
It will do that.
Yeah, because we were 1-0 down for a good while, and Mikey and Alex scored 2 great goals, and then obviously they got it back to 2-2. But teams are massively improved. We beat them 6-3 at Airgaff, and their keeper kept them in it. Could have been 7 or 8 easy, and then they, we drew with them 2-2 like 2 months later. So teams are improving. They've got a young squad. So
yeah, so it's not easy.
No, it's not easy at all. People say Sunday League levels crap. Believe me, it's not.
No,
there's some really good players in there. Like,
did you see Lee Allison's team, who's been on the show, Hemel Hempstead? They scored a 94th minute winner to win 1-0. That just keeps them, I think they're in around 7th, 8th place. They're hanging in the playoffs. But I think between where they are, 7th or 8th, I think there's like 3 points up until 3rd or 4th where they are as well. And they might even have a game in hand. So they're still in the mix, which is good as well for Lee. So
I have to say, I think that, speak very highly of him, the way he spoke about his football. He could tell you how much he loved it. And it would be great if Dorking Wanderers won the league, and then Hemel went up in in the playoffs. But I see, talking about that league, one of my favourite managers, Neil Warnock, is now back in charge at Torquay.
No way, is he?
Yeah, so they've I don't know what's happened because they're in the playoff positions. They're on 58 points in fourth. Dorking are on 67 at top. Hemel, like you say, just goal difference from Maidstone, 55 points. It's a close league. You go down to like 11th on 53 points.
Yeah, it's a brilliant league, isn't it?
That's brilliant, mate. Dorking hopefully should win it. I'd love to go down for a game, definitely.
Yeah, maybe go to a talk on Hemel one. That might be the idea for you.
Mate, that'd be the dream. Yeah, be good.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, Neil Warnock, just class. I think he's one of Oliver's old teammates described me as a poor man's Neil Warnock once, which I'll take that as a compliment because I think
Which you were made up with.
Well, yeah, I like Neil Warnock. His record speaks for itself.
Yeah,
Did you hear the story about when he went bowling that time?
yeah, I've heard that one. Yeah,
And he brought his own bowling ball and basically took like 20 quid off each player. Like, oh yeah, class, mate.
what's that film? Kingpin, it is, isn't it? Have you seen the
Yeah.
film Kingpin with Woody Harrelson?
Yeah, brilliant, mate.
Brilliant film, that, isn't it? Great. Yeah. Well, listen, let's wrap up there. But yeah, let's do the bets for the weekend. I'll have a listen to those bands. If anyone else is watching this as well, please download the bands and give them a follow. You know, we're big fans of smaller bands who are trying to make the way in life, aren't we?
Of course, mate. But, you know, I watched the Brits on Saturday, or little bits of it, and you know, like Sam Fender, you know, again, just a working class bloke. His first guitar was paid for when his granddad passed away. He left him 800 quid. So he said without his granddad passing away, he wouldn't have been able to buy a decent guitar to play. So he worked his, you know, played in pubs and all that sort of stuff. I've been to the pub in Tynemouth, Low Lights Tavern, great boozer. Definitely in my top 20 pubs. But it's not quite as high as the dispensary, obviously. But I saw they were taking on staff the other day, the dispensary. I thought, could I do that in the evenings? Work there as well. But
yeah, you know what we should do? We'd have to get a virtual curtain. We'll have to get a virtual curtain, a cardboard cutout curtain, and put a telly on them. But we should do it where we go around to a couple of the pubs and test it out what it'd be like to do a podcast in the pub. See if it works with the tech, what we've got, the phones, what we've got. And if it did, we could maybe do one or two from one or two pubs if they let us sit in there and do it. That might be the next step.
So today was like I see like pubs like Jacaranda, and there's a new one called Shandon Bell. People will sit outside having a beer, which is awesome to see. So
yeah, nice weather's coming. Nice weather.
Definitely,
right, gents. Big catch up as always, but that's it. Yeah, the episode done again. Thank you very much.
Always a pleasure.
Likewise.
Have a good one, dude.
See you, Kate. See you, Rick.
Yeah, bye.
Bye, lads.
If I die the day after tomorrow, God knows down my sheer sorrow is you.